this the second time around, and your comfort level with these guys. You kind of know what they can do now.
Yeah, they
Does that
do.
change things?
They do, but we added 48 new faces in June. So the good thing is the older guys can tell the younger guys kind of how things will go and what the process is all about. So there's not a newness for them, but there's still, because we are so young, there's still a newness for about 50 of those guys. So it's their first time doing anything. But talking to Frank and those guys in the weight room, they've been really, really happy with what those guys have done since they got there on June 24th. So.
48 new guys. Does that mean that there's a bunch of new walk-ons too? Or
Yeah, we had 23 walk-ons in this freshman class to go along with the 25 kids we signed that are new.
The flip side of that is that the guys, not just your comfort level, obviously, but the players knowing what you want now.
Yeah, I think they understand. You know, you talk to Chris and Josh who are here today. I think they've got a really good feeling of, they know how we work, they know what we're looking for on a daily basis, and really the consistency part of it, not being up and down. But they were great. They were great in the spring, and they've been great with Frank since we were done with them. So, you know, for us, it's just you got to wait a week from today, but to get back out in the field, that'll be the fun part.
What's KL's status?
He's got to finish up some things academically, and we hope he won't be in camp, but we hope to have him sometime at the beginning of the season. So we'll see. He's got some things to do.
He won't be in camp.
He will not be in camp.
Is it possible he could be playing the opener?
No.
Is there a target game?
We're hoping after game 3.
After game 3.
Yeah.
You guys had a bunch of guys suspended to start last year. Do you know if is there anybody?
I don't anticipate anything, but we still got a lot of time before the first game, so but nothing to announce today.
What about Josh Woods? Is he back?
Josh Woods is back full, so he'll get a chance. He's cleared to go, and so we'll see him full go on the 31st.
Churchwell, same thing.
Same thing. Kenny's running really well right now. Diamond Lee, it sounds like he'll be in the same situation. He should be cleared to go. Talking to Anthony, I've talked to him. They're still going through workouts right now, but we anticipate everybody being up, ready to go on the 31st.
Have you heard about eligibility for Colson Yankov?
Have not heard anything on that yet.
Is it possible he could be eligible?
I don't. I know they've sent a waiver, and I don't know what. I haven't heard anything from that. So everything's possible, but we don't have a say in it, so we got nothing to do with it. We support him, and hopefully we can get him eligible because he already really sat a year, so because he got redshirted last year, so he didn't play. So
where have you kind of seen the most growth in Dorian since the end of last season?
I just think it's familiarity with what we're doing. You know, he kind of got thrown into the mix last year. Wilt went down in game 1. He was in the second quarter of the first game. You know, we had planned on playing him for a snap or two or series in the first game anyways, but he didn't have, because he didn't enroll early, he didn't have the luxury of, a whole spring. So, and you watched him, he got better in game 2 and game 3 and game 4. I thought he was playing really well for us. And then, unfortunately for him, got hurt. And then Wilton had to come in and finish out the season for us. But Dorian could have come back in at the end of the year and played, so it wasn't a long-term injury. But, he was healthy. He had a really good command throughout the spring. So we're excited to kind of see what year 2 looks like.
How do you manage? Where's the status of Michael Alves' back and managing that? Is he 100%?
He's good. He went through those guys. Justin does a good job with him from a practice standpoint, but he went through everything in the spring. So again, I don't anticipate anybody right now talking to Anthony that's going to be down on the first day. So we'll see.
Josh Kelly mentioned it earlier, but he was talking about the importance of having Boss move to defensive lineman to center and kind of the way he transitioned to that position.
Yeah. Boss has done a great job, and is really the leader of the front. He makes all the front calls and all the play calls. And again, we didn't have him at the beginning of the year last year, so he didn't come in until game 4. So, and it was a new position for him, so he did a lot of on-the-job training too. You had Chris Murray, who actually played center for the first couple of games, but then moved back to guard. So there was a lot of newness to all those guys up there. But to have Boss back and Chris back and Mike back and Jake Burton back, I think it would be a big plus for us going into the season.
How did Wade Lees come onto your radar?
Just he was a kid that entered the portal, so we monitor the portal every day, and obviously losing Flint, the opportunity to get a kid that's kicked in college football games, just because there was an experience factor there, and then talked to some of his coaches, and obviously got a unique background. A lot of people are moving towards the Australian kickers, and they've had a tremendous impact, especially in our league. I think there's 4 or 5 of them kicking right now in our league. So got a chance to bring him out for an official visit and meet him and talk to him about kind of what his mindset is and what he was looking for. And thought he'd be a great fit for what we're doing this year. So gives us a lot of confidence with JJ back and with Wade. I think we feel confident, with our punter and kicker situation going into the season.
What'd you see from Jason Harris also as a graduate?
Just to, we needed some depth. We're such a young team. We had planned on taking some grad transfers just because we want to even out this discrepancy. I think we have 87 freshmen and sophomores in the 110, so to try to get some older players in here. And he's a kid that, was an impact player at the FCS level, and, we're hoping he can transition in the 1 year that we have him to help us with a little bit of edge pass rush and give us a little bit depth at outside linebacker.
There were some other guys you added too, Josh
Harris,
and Christian Grove.
Yeah, Josh Harris was a quarterback at Oceanside and then left to go on a 2-year mission in Nicaragua. Came back and was playing quarterback at Grossmont as a freshman, broke his clavicle and was transitioning to tight end. He's 6'6", he weighs 242 pounds, runs 4.5. He's learning how to play the tight end position, but he's as talented an athlete that you're going to find at that size. So our guys in the weight room said great things about him, and we're looking forward to starting to work with him. And then Christian Grove is a kid we were recruiting for a while, but I think adds some depth and some speed. For us, he ran 10.4, and I think finished second in the state in California. So I know talking to Frank and those guys, he may be the fastest kid on the team, if not in the top 2 or 3 right now as a true freshman. So adding him just added some more speed and some depth at the running back spot. So, and that was our plan all along. We had left a couple open. We weren't at 25 at the signing date because we wanted to kind of see what was out there and what's the best scenario. And I think we felt we were really good with the kids we added late.
I know you don't really believe in momentum, but the way last year ended, does that feel good about kind of the trajectory of...
Well, we lost. If we went with your theory, then we lost our last game. So our momentum would be going the other way. So that's one of the reasons I don't believe in momentum. But, I was really happy with how our kids played at the end of the season. We were down to about 57 scholarship players, but they competed and played really hard. And I think that carried... they just got to understand that there's a consistency to how they perform. When they train well, they play well. And I think that's, as I've noticed through the spring and as Frank will talk about over the summer, is that we're getting more consistent work on a daily basis from our guys. And that's what's going to pay off. You can't have really, really highs and really, really lows. It can't be like this. It's got to be kind of, a slow, steady pace and focus and concentrate on what you're going to do that day. But I think the players we have now understand that. So that's the exciting thing about getting back to them is that you don't have to continually remind them of that every day. They're doing that themselves. They're reminding the other guys at their positions about how they have to perform and what they're supposed to be like.
Go ahead.
Do you remember when during last season you kind of saw the consistency evening out during the practices?
As we started to get into Arizona week, I think, we had a big high coming off of the Cal week, but then Arizona we felt pretty good about, and then SC we had a really, it was obviously we had a really, really good week of practice in the SC week, and we played well in the SC game. So, those are the things that when you look to build upon that is that we have evidence of when we played well in games, direct correlation to how we practice Monday through Friday of that week of games. So, there's a correlation between that. And I think our players started to get a feel and an understanding for that. So,
how different is it at this point compared to last year at the same time in terms of the players knowing the schemes and where you can
it's
start?
light years. They've got to just... You don't have to explain why we're meeting at this time or why we're doing this or why we're doing that. You can rely on the older guys to make sure the younger guys understand it. So it's huge. Year 2, there's a huge separation. We always talk about, and just in football itself, game 2 is so much different than game 1 just to start every season. So year 2 is going to be so much different than year 1 just because of been there, done that. There won't be our first road trip. There won't be our first plane ride. There won't be our first bus ride. There won't be our first time in the hotel the night before a game. There won't be our first game day routine. They've been through that and get a real good feeling and understanding of what we have to do and how we have to prepare. Because that's the key to being successful is preparing the proper way.
How different is it? The defensive line, they were so young last year. They transformed their bodies.
everything. They look different, they play different, they walk different. But that's part of it, because of the depth issues we had there. It's no different than the offensive line. Jake Burton's first start, Chris Murray first start, Ross Tagovailoa's first start. All of those guys are different a year later because they have that experience underneath their belt. So I think those two critical factors in our O-line and our D-line, the experience factor we coming back, we hope is going to be beneficial to us this season.
So Antonio Mafi lost probably 50, 60 pounds, and Tito, I think, gained 30 from where he was listed. Talk a little bit about how
I don't think Otito was listed at the right weight last year because they were eating out. But Moff has worked really hard. I think he came in at over 400. He's about 360 now. So, he's one of those guys that you could see on a daily basis continue to improve. And he's invested in himself, which is good. So, excited to see this year 2 version of Neil coming out.
Where do you think Joshua Kelly can go after that kind of breakout season? What's left for him in this?
There's a ton left. I mean, he didn't really become a full-time starter in game 4, so he made a lot of really good strides during the spring. And you can ask him, how he saw things and how he started to see things because of the more reps he got. Sometimes making the wrong cut is good for him because it's a learning experience in terms of making the right cut. But the more reps he gets, the more comfortable he gets with. Boss up front, Chris up front, Jake up front is an important thing for him. But he's one of those kids that he'll never arrive, and that's what we always try to talk to our guys about because you can always get better every day. And Josh embraces that mindset. So I'm really excited to see what he can do this season because I know we haven't seen the best of Josh, and we've seen a real good version of him, but I think he can be better this year. So.
Talk a little bit about Josh Woods, just what he's been through his entire process.
I mean, it's been a real tough process. He was here last year as on media day with us, and we're excited and thought he was going to have a breakout season for us. And then to go down in camp and just kind of got hit from the side. What he was doing, what he was supposed to be doing, it was crushing to lose him at that point in time. I remember walking off the field with him, and obviously you feel bad when he's hurt and not going to play the season. And he was like, all right, I'll just come back next year. He was already kind of over the injury before we even got into the locker room. And I was like, all right, I just got to look, what am I going to do? And what's the training process for me to get ready and be able to play next year and help? So it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see him, if he can run back out the field against Cincinnati and actually get a chance to play for us.
How unusual is an attitude from a player like that?
I think for anybody, to face a setback like that and already be thinking about the future, it's a credit to Josh and kind of how his mind works. But he's always been a hyper-focused kid on being successful. He's an unbelievable student. He's always kind of taking care of business every step of the way. So it didn't surprise me, but it's refreshing to have someone like him around. And we were excited to get him back for another year. So it's a real positive for all of us.
What would you say is the biggest thing you learned last year?
I think you just learn the players, and kind of how they tick and what they're all about, and what you have to do to get the collective group all on the same page. I think is the biggest thing that for us as a staff. And we have some good older players that we really leaned on and relied on. The Josh Woods, the Chris Barneses, the Josh Kellys, the Theo Howards, Boss, that have really stepped up and understand that this is their team. And that they need to, they can impact what the team looks like. And I think our coaching staff has done a really good job of educating those guys on what they need to do and how they need to model it, because we're not around our guys 24/7, nor should we be, but those guys are. And if you've got your leaders doing the right things, then your team's going to probably be going in the right direction. And I really feel we're going in the right direction because I think of the leadership of those guys.
In that same vein, was it different for you in the sense of when you're at Oregon, you knew the lay of the land because you've been there so long as an assistant versus coming in new?
But it was different when I went to the NFL. It was different when I first got there. So, there's always you can rely on your experiences, but you're still dealing with different people. So, we knew what we were getting involved in, and it's fun. That's what makes it fun because no one really knows what the future is. But, instead of worrying about the future or being anxious about what happened in the past, you just concentrate on what you have to take care of today, and the rest of it will take care of itself. So.
What did Justin Fry bring to that offensive coordinator position in the spring, moving in?
Just a sense of continuity. Sometimes I need to, and I do, get over to the defensive side of the ball, but then I don't have to worry about what's going on the other field. Justin's highly organized, got a lot of really good ideas. So just a guy that there's times when you're in meetings and you guys don't see it, but we're offensive staff meeting, but I get called out. Well, then they don't just sit there and not do anything. So he can continue to carry on the meeting and then fill me in on kind of what we accomplished when I was gone. So he's been really helpful from that standpoint.
How much input do you think you'll have on play calling?
Justin, a ton, but he had a ton last year, so that part of it isn't. I mean, our play calling isn't just, hey, let's call this. I mean, we spend a lot of time during the week of what are we calling in all these situations, and we already know the play call. It just, where are we now? Is it 1st and 10? Is it 2nd and 3? Is it 3rd and 1? But if it's 3rd and 1, that play call on 3rd and 1 isn't a surprise to anybody because that's what we practice on 3rd and 1. So our play calling is done mostly during the week, and that's always done as a staff, and kind of honing in on what are our top 5 3rd and shorts, what are our top 6 3rd and mediums, what are our top 8 3rd and longs. That's already done, and we're not going off the script, so to speak. We're as the situation dictates itself on the field, whether it be in the red zone or coming out or in the middle of the field. It's kind of, there's a block to where it is, and we've already talked through that play calling aspect of it.
Anything else, guys?
Lunchtime.
You'll get him at the press conference.